Well, I just cut the video for a moment, and usually when people cut the video and do something and come back, they don't say anything. It just goes back in and it's flawless and seamless and just becomes part of the video. I just wanted to stop to take the note, and make the note rather, that I very rarely cut a section out of a video. I should say, in the whole time I've been doing YouTube, in 11 years, I've never once actually cut a section out of a video that I recorded. And this can work against me as well, I realize this, but when I do cut a video, it's because of something that happened. My dog was barking at the fence, so I went over and dealt with that, and then right after that I came back and sat down and there was a bunch of sirens, so I figured it was perfect timing because I'll just wait for the sirens to subside and get back to it. I was more or less done with the subject matter that I wanted to talk about. You know, I could sit here and ramble forever because that's what I do. I'm a guy who sits and talks to my camera. But I wanted to make a kind of a final note about how we assume what other people think. I consider myself a very open-minded, rational, and thoughtful person, for what it's worth. Yet, I find myself judging people. I can't help it. Whether it be, you know, people who work at for a certain company, or certain parents, or certain kids, or whatever it might be. I could think of a million examples, but those are probably the worst. It's okay that we judge people initially. In fact, it's part of survival. That's how the human race has survived. We cannot survive without judging things. I feel like in today's world we've got to the point where we're so scared to judge anything. And that's understandable because judgment has got us in a lot of trouble. However, you know, if a person is stumbling down an alleyway and they have a knife in their hand, your judgment that that's a danger might be good. That's an extreme example, but the point being that we judge other people, we judge our friends. I just want to lay this out there. The people you knew when you were young aren't the same people they were when they were young. They have changed. Even if their attitudes are the same, even if they're easier going or maybe less easygoing, people that move different directions politically or religiously, often they retain a certain semblance of themselves, but people change extremely. You look a person in the eye, they use the same lingo they used to use, and you figure, oh, this is my same friend I grew up with. But we grow apart from people, friends. We also grow closer with certain friends or gain new friends. Now look, I'm talking about this because I've been judged a lot on YouTube, and I can take it. Believe me, after 11 years, you know, putting my thoughts out to the world, I have no problem. No problem at all being judged by people. In fact, the other day I was going through my website info, which I rarely do, and it's as far as like all the settings and everything, and I realized I had like 7 people blocked from my channel. And I decided to unblock them all. I mean, one was Scott G or something, another guy was, can't even remember, but I've had some very hateful subscribers on my channel who just seem to be obsessed with who I am, or rather who they think I am. So rather than listening to their banter on every video, I just block them. That's probably the 2 or 3 people who downvote every video. Even if it's just like a picture of a kitten, it'll be downvoted. Everybody has detractors, haters. It's just the way the world is. And unfortunately, the more exposure a person gets, for example, the more haters and detractors they get. And this is why I'm so grateful I'm not famous. Honestly, so many people I've heard saying they want to be famous on YouTube. It's not. It's a disease. It's I'm serious, because like something like 60 to 70% of all kids who are asked between the ages of 8 and 15, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be an YouTube influencer. And it's because they see all this money in it. But here I am, taking time out of my day to make I'll probably put that one in this video just now because I said that, but my little nature clip, I made this little joke about this video is sponsored by nature. My wife's like, you should totally make that into something and make it funny, and I was like, I got the support, so I'll do it. I'm gonna make another one even better, but the point being that I spent my own money and time and energy on, gear so I can sit and make my own film sponsoring nature. When there's people out there who can sit there and say, oh, I use L'Oreal, god damn it, I had to use a brand name, on my skin and I feel grand, and they make $100,000. Like, the Jenners, they were making something like $100,000 per Twitter post. They didn't even have to say anything about a product half the time. They just put it in the background. So we all know about product placement and whatnot, but I feel like I'm getting way off track, and the sirens are reminding me of that. So before I go, I'd like to read you this little list. I don't know when this was written. I'm going to look for a date in here somewhere. This is my journal. I got it in 2016, and I've been just another one of my journals, but it's about, this was in 2016. So we'll see how much I've changed in 5 years, but 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, this is what I thought the rules of living were, and I was thinking this might coincide with talking about how we're judged and treating others. Number 1, okay, treat others with respect you desire, not the respect you're given by others. And I guess that's like the golden rule. 2, try not to judge, yet accept that your mind may do so without your consent. Just observe. 3, don't obsess over what happened in the past. Learn from it. And this one comes down to using everything that happens to us as a lesson, not as a failure. Number 4, don't fear the unknown in the future, just embrace the present. 5, be tolerant of opinions, even when you believe they are wrong. There's always a reason for treason. The next one is embrace art, music, and creativity until you are confident your creations are worthy of you. And this one goes to all the artists, writers, vloggers, whatever it may be out there. You work until you feel like you're satisfied with your work, but it has to be, you can't be overly critical. You know what I mean? You've just got to be able to say, this is good enough. I'm a human being. The next one is remember that children, adults, and elderly all share this experience of life, and none are wiser by age unless they learn it. Meaning that a 30-year-old can have more wisdom than an 80-year-old. It just depends on your situation. The next is people who act spiteful are often fragile, and opening up to them can help you both. Closing down and retaliating only dismisses and divides further. Yes, it means that the most hateful people are often the most sensitive when you really get down to it. So you don't pick on them, you talk about things. The next one is observe happy people and try on their thoughts. I always loved that one. It just came to mind one day and I was like, try on your thoughts. That's a good one. Why are they happy? But I guess the question is, are they really happy or are they just putting on a show? The next one is seek out archetypes and learn from their stories. And I can't say enough about that. Mythology. I was going to do a whole series on mythology. I never got around to it because it's so complicated and detailed. And I thought it's just not my place. I'm not interested enough to present all this information about where these Greek gods came from and legends, but definitely worth looking into. The next one is never hide from what your heart knows is truth, but consider it carefully. This one's a little tricky because it means that often we feel something in our hearts, we feel it so strongly, we think it's, what's important, and we find out that we were wrong. Our hearts can lead us astray. Following your heart is not always the best option. Consider it carefully. The next is, Never complicate life to the point where you are unable to enjoy simplicity. And goddamn, in today's world, I feel like I could unload on this one point forever. There are so many people hung up on the big game, making a profit, making a dollar. It's really hard to like see how a person like that is truly, fulfilling their life by just money. I know there's more to it than that. Like I said, I'm not judging rich people, but being able to enjoy just the simple things in life is, I think, a crucial aspect that most people will agree with. The next one is relating to that, because at the end of that last one I put sunsets, but the next one is watch every sunset and sunrise you can. And I think that's self-explanatory. Just do the math. Ask yourself, how many days have you been alive? And how many sunsets have you set out and made an effort to watch? No matter where you're at, take the time to sit and watch the whole thing, because you don't forget them. I remember the last 2 sunsets I saw. Like, you do not forget these things. Even the one I saw last year at the beach and the year before. You do not forget those important facts of life. And it wasn't just the sunset. It was a sunset with my family. And it makes all the difference. The next one is take accountability for your own failures, not just successes. And I have to say, the minute I read that, it reminded me of a lot of religion and how people want to blame the devil for everything bad that goes on, but God gets all the credit for when somebody heals, but if somebody dies, oh well, that's just the way it is. But the same way that we need to take accountability for when we fail and fuck up, and I knew I'd have a cuss in there somewhere, pardon that language there, but we like to take credit for our successes, but blame our failures on other people, whether it be our bosses, our parents. It never goes anywhere. It doesn't help us. So, I mean, the issue is maybe it is somebody else's fault, but buckle up and go forward. There's only a couple more, I promise. The next one says, laugh at yourself regularly and life. I think this is probably the most important one on the list. I really do. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're missing out on a lot of life. I'm an absurd human being. I can sit here and present ideas to you, but I don't know everything. I don't know all the details of life. Fuck no, I wouldn't even pretend. There I go again, cussing. It's important to remember that we're all just human, and we only know what we know. And I'm not here to prove anything or be better than anyone. I'm just here to talk to my camera and post it on YouTube, right? But when I was younger, I really thought I had more figured out than I did. And I learned the hard way. I don't know as much as I did, and I'm very humbled by that. So I laugh at myself for that. That's all. It's not worth having our ego bruised by something as slight as making a mistake. But there are so many people out there. I'm sure every one of you knows somebody who can't apologize, ever. If you call them out on some sort of an insult, they'll just berate you with, oh, you're just too sensitive, or, whatever, I don't know what you're talking about, and they'll change the subject because they have no intention on ever actually using their emotion to say, hey man, I'm sorry, or I fucked up, or I shouldn't have said that, or I didn't mean to say it that way. It's a very humbling experience to admit you're wrong. And I've found over the years that when you do, people just don't know what to say because it's so uncommon. But it happens. The next is, don't force your views. Never force your views on others, and care about the things your peers care about. And that's it. I guess maybe the last one is the most important, right? Forcing your views on others is something that I feel like so many people do. Seems to be, par for the course. You've got religions, politics. Everybody wants you to think the way they think. And so I just wanted to say, maybe those notes don't relate to the first part of the video as much as I would like to think. But These are thoughts, raw thoughts. Got to make it through. Just got to toughen up and do the best we can. Don't believe everything you read or everything you see. The world you see with other people is not the world it appears. When you see wealthy people, when you see people who appear happy, remember that they're humans too, and they have moments where they bawl and they cry and they're upset. We're all just human. So that's all I've got. I'm done with this one. Talk to you next time. Peace out. Take care of each other and be well.